Alright, in this video, I'm going to be going over my absolute favorite active grinding method in the game. For those of you who have been in the guild with me before, friends with me in game, or whatever the case may be, most of you know how much money I actually do make through this method. Anybody outside of the guild typically doesn't believe how much money there is to be made at the location that I personally love to farm at. So, with that being said, the location that I absolutely love is just outside of Tariff, and it is the Wandering Rogue Den. As you can see, I farm here so much, I leveled it up to level 10. Now, does level 10 make it that much better than 0? No, not really. So, through this study, I realized that having it level 10 in comparison to level 0 only nets me about 6% more profit overall long term. Now, this can, have spikes or lows, whatever, but it's averaged out to about 6% gain. Now, the way these tiers work is for every one level that you have, every 1 in 10 mobs has a 5% extra chance to drop extra loot. So, with that being said, at level 10, every 1 in 10 mobs has a 50% chance to drop extra loot. So, every 1 in 10 mobs will drop 50% extra loot. Sorry, I worded that wrong. So, can it be good? Yeah. Is it worth it? Not until you really spend all your energy on other things. But it will increase your overall profit. Now, to make the amount of money that I make here, there are some requirements. Number one, you have to be on a class that has fast mobility and AoE clear. I personally love my Witch. However, there are classes that can outgrind me. Lawns are one of them. Sorks also, if you're very good on a Sork. However, most Sorks, that requires a lot of effort and skill to actually outgrind a Witch on a Sork. Lawns probably have the easiest time doing so. And, any other class can be really good if you're really good at it. And I don't suggest playing another class just to maybe grind 2% faster than another one. However, mobility is very important. Now, another thing that is important is you're going to be killing so fast that you need good pets. You honestly do. Tier 1s aren't going to pick up enough loot. Now, am I saying this place is not worth the grinding if you have tier 1s? Absolutely not. This place is still probably one of the best places you can grind. However, to make max effectiveness out of this method, you will need good pets. You will also need to hit L2 and X, and you will need to go into Agile. What Agile does is it group commands all of your pets. You could do it manually too, but this group commands all of your pets to pick up faster than they normally would. However, they also go through food faster as well, so they will need to eat more often. I always put the talents on just because one of mine is a hostility detection, so I can detect other players, and then obviously you want pick up on. And action follow as well. I just go straight down the left hand side on all of these. Now, there are some other factors into how much money I do make and why I make as much as I do. With that being said, often if I always try to look for one of these guild quests on Arsha. So, perfect. There's actually a large rogue here right now. I'm not going to pop it because I don't plan on staying here right now. I'm just making a video and I don't want the timer to run out. However, to maximize the amount of money that you can get doing this method, it's suggested that you wait for a large or an extra large, if it's accessible to you, on Arsha. Now, if you cannot find a guild quest on Arsha, and you can on a different server, it's actually debatable whether it's worth it doing on another server or not. I've done the testing and it turns out to be about the same. Of course, it's better grinding on Arsha than another server. However, if you can get a larger and extra large quest on another server, the amount of money that you get to your collect wages for your guild funds for helping out with a guild quest actually kind of equal out the loss that you lose from being on Arsha. Now, with that being said, you also have to take into consideration, if officers are on to pop those guild quests for you, if you're an officer and you can pop your own, how big your guild is, and just a lot of other factors. So if that's something you can do and you have access to, it is 100% worth it. Another thing to take into consideration is if you do have access to those or have an officer that's willing to pop them, you're also benefiting the guild by getting skill points, and you're generating income for the guild to give better payouts to everybody. Now, with all that being covered, the only other real thing to consider is item drop increase scrolls. Now, these give 100% increased item drop rate and 50% increased drop amount. Now, those two factors are very good, and I personally use all of my loot scrolls here at Rogues. Now, I'm not going to go into the setup any further. I think I pretty much covered everything you really need, except AP. As you can see, the AP for here is very minimal. 100 AP, 110 AP is going to do just fine here. Now, if you have a Kudum, it'll excel a little bit, but it's not really needed. So when we open up this node, we want to go to the bottom left hand corner of this little triangle here and press square. That'll auto mark. I don't really use the auto path, and I really don't need a mark either because I've done it so many times, but that'll take you to the exact location that I grind in if you're not familiar with Rogues. Now, here's my little shortcut. And we're just going to keep running right up here. Now, this is Arsha, so PvP is strongly encouraged. I am not nice when it comes to my spot, and I'm coming here to actively grind. Now, with that being said, before we actually get into the in-depths, these are what you get that are worth a lot of money. So, and you don't want to sell them. You can see the sale price is 780 silver. You do not want to vendor them. So, I'm getting attacked by something. Let me clear out the stuff real quick. But if we go back down to these, you could see exchange 600 for 1 gold bar, 1 mil gold bar. So every 600 of these you get turns into 1 mil, which means they're actually valued at 1,666 silver each trash loot, and you actually get a lot of them. Now, when you pop your item scroll, and you can see it just stack up on the screen, you can see I just made, about 50k from that attack. Here, look, now there's, another 20k, 30k, and this isn't including good drops. These are just, your standard trash drops. That's all I'm taking into consideration right now. We've already made like 500k in trash since we've been here. That's why I really like Rogues, mainly because right now I average about 14 to 15 mil an hour in trash alone at Rogues. Now, that's not where bulk of my money comes from, but it is a good bit of money. Now, this is my main rotation. I come in here, you come up here and hit this obelisk, and I'll break down the loot and why it's so profitable in more after I show you the main rotation. And see, like, even with all my pets, they're still not picking up stuff fast enough, so I kind of hang back a little bit, and then I'll run through and grab these, grab this middle pack, and then meteor this one. And then what I do is, like, I like playing a long range character in places like this because I'm staying back here long casting while my pets are running through and picking up this stuff. Now I actually grind a little bit faster this when I'm not explaining everything and not trying to, you know, really make a technical breakdown on how I do everything. And I'll typically like run right through here. There's typically mobs here, but somebody else is grinding here. He's up there on the rock. He thinks he wants to fight me, but that's going to be a bad idea for him. And you can see all this goes there. And then you come back up here. You head straight north. You make this right-hand hook, and you AOE that mob to the right. Cut back to the middle. Hit this pack here. Zigzag back up this way. Hit all of these. And then we are right back at the entrance to where we started. And that's just, this is the rotation you do. Here, I'll do another rotation with a little less explanation. And a little more actual clear. And hold on. We gotta flag up real quick because this dude, I think he wants to smoke. Yeah, he wants to smoke. No, he doesn't. People just run away from me these days. It's sad. It's a sad time. That guy knows me. But this is the rotation I typically run. And he's messing it up a little bit, but it is what it is. Now these are, a lot of the greens here are very debatable on which ones are worth keeping and which ones aren't. However, the market does fluctuate and sometimes they're worth more than others. And also you get these elites here that do spawn that are absolutely worth killing because they drop, they typically drop like stuff like forbidden books. And upgraded greens also drop a lot higher percentage chance through them. And then after I'm done with this slight rotation here, I'll actually stop and explain the loot, and we'll get into that. Nice, 2 event items, perfect. Oh, and I'll also show you a little trick because I'm going to use it real quick to get out of this place to let that dude go back to grinding. But once you make it to this part of Rogues, you can actually escape, and it'll take you straight to Tariff, which is really nice. Quick repairs if you don't have a pay-to-win tent, easy storage and banking and everything else. It's a really nice trick. Okay, so in that trip, I don't think we really got much. So we got 484 useful coin pouches. We almost made a mill off of that in that short time. We did get a couple honey for our events, but other than that, we only got 1 steel dagger, 1 hellrick, and 1 base gloves. Now, oh, and we also, no, that's from before. Okay, so the other things you can get here that I get quite often are forbidden books. Now, if we check the market for forbidden books, they're currently at 860,000 each. That's right about right. They're typically right around 900,000. I typically get between 5 and 12 an hour though. I average out to right about 7 mil worth, and that's just so you stack that on top of the 14 mil. Sorry, I mispronounced that. 14 mil that you get average, because I get about 9,000 trash loot an hour. So you stack, 14 mil from the trash loot, about 7 mil from the forbidden books, and then we also get accessories. The accessories we get here do sell. However, they aren't worth very much anymore. They used to be, but you get necklaces Schultz. Now, these do sell. You have to sell them at minimum, though. You do actually get the upgraded ones quite often, but the upgraded ones still don't really profit you that much. However, I do average between, I'd say right between 5 and 10 total accessories an hour. That's between the necklaces and the belt of Schultz, both which are dirt cheap. But that is about another 10 mil an hour is what I average between base and upgradeds. Now, you also get flooded with greens. This place is actually the highest drop rate for greens I've ever experienced out of anywhere in BDO. And the rate, and I get a lot of enhanced, versions of those greens. Just, I think it's out of the sheer number of greens it drops and not actually a higher percentage. But since so many greens do drop, I get probably about 1 to 2 14 or 15 level enhances an hour, which greatly increases the monetary gain up by at least 20 mil. And then if we go into some of these, let's just pick a crescent, for example. If we go down here to what drops here again? What am I looking at? Steel daggers, Helrix, and basically the AP variants of all the sub weapons. So anything that's a sub weapon that's AP, you get at rogues. You also get bronze daggers and a couple hybrids, but not really that much. You get Oros, trinket, you get incense and needle trinket. Needle trinkets always sell. And you get a ton of blackstones. The blackstones, I'd say you average about 60 blackstones combined an hour. That's not including enhanced gear. So with all that, that's kind of where the money is. Now, how much do I actually average per hour? On my breakdown, doing guild quests with Loot Scroll on Arsha, I average right around 75 mil an hour. That's over the course. I've spent over 200 hours at Rogues. About 150 hours of those have been with a level 10 node. And that's not including the event drops, because I don't take into consideration event drops because these are very limited. Even though they do events all the time, they kind of vary on what they want to give out. So that's about 75 mil an hour at Rogues with a high clear speed. And if I'm popping a guild quest and I'm not trying to explain it in a video, I kill right around 115 mobs per minute to get those results. So I hope this answers any questions. I hope this helps people, really get on a grind. I am telling you, though, if I go on Arsha and I go to my grind spot and you're there, I'm sorry. Just kind of like why that guy asked why I was there, because he didn't expect me to see me in, the spot that I kind of showed everybody. And yeah, other than that, I hope this helps. I hope this helps, the PS4 community progress their gear and become more competitive. And if you have any more questions, feel free to follow my Twitch. I stream pretty often, and I always do a live Q&A. You can ask me anything in my Twitch. And make sure you stay subscribed to my YouTube, because I'm going to keep making videos. And let me know what else you guys want to see. If you need more silver videos, if you need other content, life skills, class breakdowns, gearing guides, whatever you really need, just drop a suggestion in the comments. And thank you for watching.